Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're going to talk about the leader skill, a new mechanic implemented with, where is she? Spinel. So yeah, this is new to the game. Right now, at the moment of recording, only Spinel has a leader skill. But I think that soon enough we'll start receiving updates where they add the leader skill either for all characters or just a handful of them. I don't think they're gonna release them by one by one, but we'll see that in the future. So first things first, we're gonna do one quick run of Taimanin to check something that some of you may be asking about, and it's does Spinel actually require needs to be on the first slot to actually use the leader skill? I think the answer is no, but we'll see if that's the case or not. So all my anti-human and one whatever come on, really, and one whatever mag, and I'm gonna go with I could leave this, but no, I'm gonna go green. Why am I going green? To increase the amount of skills that I am able to use. So this and which is the last one that Axeros has? That one, but no, I don't want that. Melee, damage against bosses. I guess I could go with this one. It is not the best, but it works. So yeah. So why do I use this? Because green is very, very fast, and I want the AI to abuse the skills. In fact, I'm going to add one more skill. Not that I need it, I'm showcasing a build. It's just that rampage, and here one that is fast. This one could be yeah, I'm gonna do this one. It's because the leader skill reads grants frenzy buff with each use of a skill. Group battles. When deploying with other characters, they receive half the effect of the frenzy effect. So this activates on a skill, which means that I'm going to be able to get more buffs the more skills I have. But as I mentioned, the question is, do you receive the benefit of this if it's not the leader, the main character that you're using? I think that's probably a yes, but we'll find out soon enough. So everything else is control, as I always do with Taimanin. I'm going with slow, super slow. So I just do this, and as you can see, I am already receiving the buffs. So the answer is yes. That means that in the future, whenever they release the other leader skills for everyone else, we're going to have a bunch of effects on the field. And that increases the value of supporters, which give you some kind of benefits for each buff that we have. In the past, we had some supporters, and they were pretty bad. But now with this change, with the leader skills, they're going to become incredibly good. There was one for increasing your attack damage with blue, and another one that was red that increases your defenses or damage reduction. I don't remember, but we can check that in a moment. So yeah, and we have the answer to the question. Yes, you can actually get the benefit of the leader skill, even if it's not the character you're piloting. So that's one thing. Now, talking about the supporters that are going to be benefit whenever we get the update for all other characters to receive leader skills. Those are going to be these two. So, Kana is a supporter which gives you attack buffs well, increases your attack for each buff. And it goes up to 10% if you have her 5-5. It is a permanent gacha, and it was very popular when she released. I mean, it wasn't busted at the time, but she is okay. And there's also Ria. Ria, each buff of your character decreases damage taken. So it is the exact opposite. Instead of going for attack, it goes for defense, damage reduction. So one character can become really, really tanky depending on your build in Taima 5 BR or content where we use multiple Taimanin. So in the developer's letter, they mentioned that they want to focus on collection and that they want to reward us and make us enhance our characters depending on the number of characters that we have and their level. So we just received a glimpse of what's to come, and we saw that there's going to be these new facilities which are going to give us resources and enhance our characters. I don't know if it's a temporal boost, something permanent that you have to do with all characters, or I'm not sure. We'll see with time. But what can we expect for leader skills? There's, as they said, almost 30 characters. So there's many things that we can expect. I'm going to organize them by release. I think it's number. I take this out and I put it backwards. Yes. So let's analyze each character and let's focus on what they could do. But before that, going back to Spinel, I already mentioned this on my video of the developer's notes, but there's good things and bad things about the leader skill. Number one, the leader skill for Spinel forces you to use skills, which there's one problem with that. Demonic Arm Swing, it's the basic enhancer, and this doesn't count as a skill. I thought that maybe it would be better to count this as both a skill and a basic attack. But it could make the basic enhancers very busted if you receive double buffs because of that. So I don't think they're gonna implement that. So it is a problem if we require skills only to proc the leader skills. So I encourage the developers to think of other ways to implement these skills. Every 5 attacks, for example, when you get hit every 5 seconds, or maybe, I don't know, whenever you dodge every 5 seconds. This is pretty unlimited. I mean, it doesn't say every 5 seconds or such. And yes, the debuffs are kind of the buffs are kind of short. They last like 5 seconds. So they require you to abuse the skills. And because of that, you're going to be incentivized to actually get the Heavy Shika pack, which is something that I don't like. So that's why I'm suggesting the devs to put different requirements on these kind of leader skills. Getting hit, evading, successfully attacking an enemy. I don't know. It can be many things. So let's analyze what kind of buffs or debuffs, because debuffs could also be a good option, the characters can get from this. I would expect if Asagi gets a leader skill to give her one of two effects. Either increase her attack speed or reduce the enemy's speed. Any of those two effects would be pretty good in my opinion for Asagi. She could also go for defense reduction, but I don't think she needs that. She already focuses on speed, so getting more speed would be good. For Sakura, I kind of don't want that to be the case, but there are two things. If she were to debuff the enemies, she could either ensnare them, root them. I don't know what's the name. Let's see. Where is the evade? Shadow shift? No. Shadow tangle. Ensnare, yes. Ensnare would be one of the effects that I expect from her if she had a leader skill. Or attack reduction. I think she has attack reduction somewhere, which wouldn't be a very good effect actually. Range, additional attack. But the best effect that they could implement with her would be disarming, because she already has the weapon. So imagine if she could disarm with the leader skill. If she were to be buffed instead of debuff the enemy, I would expect her to get like a damage increase, a generic damage increase. Yeah. What kind of effect would you like to see on these characters, guys? Tell me in the comments. I want to know, how would you improve their gameplay by adding a leader skill? What kind of effects do you want? I would also suggest Gremory not to go for the route to... I have to go to a stage to check that very quickly. Not to... I'm going to put this just cause. But not to use or implement new buffs or debuffs. We already have a wide variety of effects that they can implement. And sometimes, something that I don't like about the game is that certain buffs and debuffs are limited to specific characters. So if you want to use that buff or debuff, you're only going to be able to apply it or get it with one character. For example, Freeze, it's something that only Kiara does. Hellfire is for Ingrid. Terror is for Astaroth. The Seed Bomb is for Shizuru. The Mark is for Felicia. So I would like Gremory to give these same effects, these same buffs and debuffs, to other characters so that we are able to make different combinations to get the same effects. For example, Anna Rose, but Anna Rose is never the best example for anything. She has Electrocute. I think she's the only other character that has Electrocute, because that is the effect from Rin. Where is Electrocute? Here, Electrocute. Reduce defense and Electrocution. Electrocution deals damage after some time, I think. But the important effect is the defense reduction. So, yeah. There are two characters which deal Electrocute, and there's also some supporters. I think I know Shikanosuke is one of those. Okay, let's retreat. But I don't think that's a good thing that the effects, the buffs and debuffs, are limited to specific characters or supporters, because that limits the way you can build. That's why I want more characters to have the same effects instead of making new effects, which are pretty good, some of them. I would like to see other... no, Shikanosuke doesn't snares and doesn't electrocute. Which was the one that electrocuted? There were some supporters that electrocuted, but I don't remember which was it. Was it this one? No. This gives electric shield, which is electric shield is a specific effect from Rin or her Rin. So one more time. Number. Let's see. What could we expect for Yukikaze? Yukikaze is another character that could actually get both the effects that Rin has, the electric shield, and also the electrocute effect. That would be awesome on her. But since she's kind of one of the basic characters, I think they're gonna focus on something like Stun or Groggy instead, which I don't like that much, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, definitely. I think these three are gonna receive kind of something pretty basic. Uh, or they could receive something very, very good, but I don't think so. Then we have Rinko. I'm thinking, what if they also, like, every time you do a skill, you also make a small multi-hit attack with her. She would shred super armor more than she already does. Um, that would be amazing on Rinko if she. It doesn't have to deal damage. It just have to reduce super armor. That's the important thing about that concept. Uh, but I don't think that's gonna be a thing. They're gonna focus on buffs and debuffs. Doing extra attacks would be interesting on those leader skills. Or, well, we'll get to that in a moment. But um, yeah, she could also implement more gravity. No, I don't think they're going to do that. What other effects do you think we can see on Rinko? I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind would be the multi hit attack like Wind Slash, but smaller to shred super armor. Uh, huh. Or attack buff, a basic attack buff. Uh, Another thing that they could do with the leader skill, especially with characters like Sakura, is to release more summons. Yeah, I think there are a couple characters that could actually summon more minions to help them in battle. Let's see. For Sue, there are two things that I expect from her. She either gets defense and super armor. I mean, she already gets enough super armor with her kit. I think they need to focus on giving her defense on top of that. So getting like whenever you get super armor, whenever you activate super armor, you would also get defense. That would be a good effect on the leader skill. And let's see. Another thing they could do is they could give her poison. I think one of her skills inflicts poison. But only one, the green one here. Unfortunately, they didn't give her more ways to poison the enemy. Besides, it is not like the best effect, but she could use the red supporter for poison if she was more poison focused. But maybe we'll see that next year. Not next year. On 2025. 2025 is gonna be the year of the snake, and you know how they like to do the theme or the Chinese year theme. In fact, the Su limited custom is going to rerun. This one is going to rerun because of the Dragon Year. So yeah, I think poison, defense, or super armor would be. I don't think super armor, specifically defense, would be good effects to put on Su. For Shiranui, she could go for something pretty simple like critical damage or critical rate, and that would be more than enough. She could also summon more of her clones, or do some kind of minion or water attack. That would also be good. Or she could apply wet. I wouldn't be mad if they add wet to her with the leader skill. I mean, she uses water attacks, so that would be excellent because you have other ways to use the same buffs and debuffs on other characters. In this case, a debuff. So, yeah, and that will allow her to use Eleanor's support. I mean, you can always use Eleanor's support, but you're not getting the benefit always. So you could use this one, Or you could use the green one more effectively. Where is this one? This is kind of limited. It's chance based. It says when using a skill has a 14% chance to wet the enemy for 5 seconds. So most of the time you're not getting the benefit here. So if Shiranui was to apply wet with the leader skill, that would be amazing, because it would allow her to use that supporter, the green Eleanor supporter. Emily, I mean, the best thing they could do with Emily is apply another buff. Party white buff, whichever buff is fine. I mean, she's already great thanks to the implementation of the new weapon, the Sledge of Blessing. If they apply whatever buff they want, that would be busted. Or maybe something that I would like is a debuff that reduces critical resistance and allow us to crit in VR. That would be awesome on Emily, because thanks to the new weapon, she works really well as a supporter, as well as the a bunch of new actual supporters that we have, like this Spinel, which increased damage for demons. This is not good for her specifically, but this passive is good. Which one? This one, which constantly reduces speed. I don't know. There's a bunch of supporters that can help you out, and will make this a very reliable character. Just imagine her with a leader skill would be incredible. But I would definitely prefer to get a buff from Emily, for sure. Let's see. For Kurenai, my poor Kurenai. I used to be main Kurenai after, but then I decided to change because I didn't want to bottom smash anymore. So I went to Asteroid. So stories aside, let's see. For Kurenai, I think they would give her critical rate or critical damage again, because she already has a critical skill in where is God's Eye. They could give her a generic damage increase, that would be fine too. Stun. Is she a vampire? I don't know. I know that she's half demon, but I don't know if she's a vampire, because if she was able to also put the mark, that would be very good, and I would really like that if she put the mark buff. But I think that if something, she's going to be like the critical character, so we're gonna get I would bet that we would get a leader skill that gives the team more critical damage or critical rate. For Oboro, yeah, definitely the leader skill would be great if it was slow. I mean, slow is more than enough for her because she has the hypnosis seal, but I don't think that would be the case. If I was designing Oboro, bleed. Why not focus on bleed? What does bleed do? It only deals damage. I think, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that it also reduces the enemy's defense or makes them receive more damage. I don't remember. Because if bleed only deals damage, like every X seconds, then that would be kind of the same as poison. So I think it has a secondary effect, but I don't know. Let's see. Increases speed, decrease the enemy's defense, decrease the target's speed. What kind of effects? I mean, it's difficult to predict what kind of leader skill she's gonna receive, especially before the character renewal. So yeah, What do you think? Are we going to get um, a, a passive, a leader skill that gives bleed, that gives speed? And because she also gets speed here and reduces speed, I think the best effect they can give her is speed reduction. By far. Let's see. For Asuka, oh my god, poor Asuka. I, I, I would give her a region on the leader skill. I would give her a region on the leader skill because she needs the HP recovery. She has the weapon, but for those who miss the weapon, she needs the HP recovery. She could also go for raw damage, and that would be fine because she deals a ton of damage with the right builds. I don't think they're gonna make her busted like White Feather Asuka, like she can shred super armor. Or they could go with defense down for the leader skill. Let's see. I'm not sure. Kiara is definitely going to have there's some effects that she can receive. She could get some kind of defensive buff because I think it's kind of thematic for her because she is tanky and she's slow. They could go for crit thanks to this skill, but I don't think so. The weapon is already crit focus and the skill too. They could go for a speed reduction or, most probable, to some kind of freeze. Freezing the enemy, I think, would be very busted on the leader skill because freeze is already a good effect. The demerit of freeze is that it wears off when you hit the enemy, but you deal double damage. But you're also interrupting the action of the enemy. So putting that in a leader skill, I think it would be too busted. I don't think they're gonna implement that. But what do you think? Do you think it would be too broken to actually apply as a debuff on the leader skill? Do you think we're gonna receive some kind of ice buff? I think that she's gonna be one of the characters which receive some kind of new buff, focusing on ice that gives her some kind of defense and maybe super armor. Let's see. Ingrid, definitely there's two things. Chance to gain Ember. She's gonna focus on Ember or Hellfire. That's kind of the two things that I see on Ingrid. I think that if they put her Ember, increase the damage by 3% per stack. Yeah, I think that Ember would be good because we already have this weapon. And you can always get this weapon on the gacha. It is permanent. So Ember would be kind of the best effect. Hellfire, if I'm not mistaken, is a way to reduce the enemy's attack. So while it is something that it's not bad, it isn't as good as other effects. Especially because Ingrid doesn't have HP recovery, so she doesn't want to receive the hits in the first place. Yeah. If Noah receives a leader skill, I would make her summon a bat that deals an attack and slows the enemy. Because she has a ton of HP recovery. She's one of the few characters which can summon a familiar. Or I would make her tankier. That would be very good. She has means of HP recovery, so if she gave her defensive buffs, that would be pretty good. What other things can you... Well, giving her a mark is... I don't know, it's kind of a vampiric buff, but... It is something that I would like to see. Whichever character receives mark, I would be happy with that. Except Felicia, she already has the mark and she has good means to implement that. Astaroth. I think they would focus on Terror, her own buff. Um, or they would give her a new buff that focuses on range damage, that increases range damage for all characters. Because she is already ranged, but I don't like that because it would be restrictive. Because you're gonna need a tank, so the tank is not going to get the benefit of that. But I mean it would. Let's see. Yeah, either terror or a buff for range damage. That's what I think for her. For oh my god, poor thing. Tokiko. What can Tokiko get, guys? I mean, in my opinion, they should focus on more clairvoyance. Clairvoyance, I think, allows you to crit easier, or something like that. And it also reduces the first instance of range damage that you receive, I think, by 80% or something like that. I don't remember what exactly clairvoyance does, but I remember it not being too bad. Just that poor Tokiko, she needs the renewal. She definitely needs the renewal. She ain't that popular because of her gameplay. Well, I hope that they gave her more clairvoyance. Reduce the enemy damage, reduce the target's speed, reduce damage taken, decreases speed with blue, speed with green, not good. Reduces defense. They could give her speed reduction or defense reduction, or another debuff, because that way she would be like a debuff machine. In my opinion, what do you think would be a good leader skill for her if it was either buffs or debuffs? Let's see. Shizuru, I think that she's gonna get a debuff that focuses on the seed. Does she put the seed? Extreme dodge. I mean, plant a seed bomb. Yeah, with blue. Plant a seed bomb with blue. Plant a seed bomb with blue. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving her more ways to put the seed bomb using the leader skill. Or she could also be some kind of medic. Applying some kind of buff that regenerates HP would be nice. Whenever someone gets into Sprout Garden, I don't know. What else? If she gave more defense reduction, I would be extremely happy. I mean, she already shreds the enemy with red. So, or an attack buff. Just giving her another attack buff for the team or a defense reduction for the enemy, that would make her totally OP. And that's why I don't think that's gonna be the case. I mean, she's already very, very strong. So, yeah. Felicia. Felicia only needs damage reduction. She could actually her leader skill could be very interesting. They could make her like whenever she restores HP, she gets some kind of buff. Because Vampiric Zone marks the enemy regardless of the color. Evil Strange only does it in blue, but Vampiric Zone can do it with any color. So you can use Vampiric Zone, hit, and receive the buff or apply the debuff. So yeah, and that would be good for her red skill, for Orochinagi. Because if it was an attack buff or a critical damage increase or a critical chance increase, it would delete the enemy more than it already does. Let's see. So yeah, things that I think she's gonna get: a defensive buff, Or maybe... yeah, an attack buff. Either an attack or a defensive buff. Especially defensive because of her role. Let's see. Micah. Micah, there are things that she can do. For example, she can get a defense reduction for the enemy, a damage increase for the allies, or super armor stun. She could also give burn, which I wouldn't like unless it was a new kind of burn, like something that deals constant damage and also reduces the enemy's defense. That would be good. I wouldn't mind getting a new debuff for Micah. Or she could give maybe attack speed because she is pretty slow, so she would appreciate the attack speed. No, I think she's gonna receive an attack buff on the leader skill. Rin. Rin is another easy to predict character in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but she already has pretty unique buffs. With Denki, she has the electric barrier. She already has pretty good speed. The limited pack focuses on speed. So, and a speed increase, electric barrier for the party. Also, if it was a debuff, the leader skill, it would give probably. Where is it? Electrocute. That's the highest chance, but it could also be for enemy speed reduction. She has good ways to reduce the enemy speed. So yeah, I think that would be the best they could do for her. Sora, I don't play that much with Sora, guys. What do you think is gonna be her leader skill? I think it's gonna be. I think it would be some kind of newborn. But since she's a ranged character, I would like to see some kind of attack buff similar to Emily on her leader skill. No, I wouldn't like to see a speed increase with her leader skill, and I don't think she's a debuffer. I don't play too much with her. Reduce the enemy damage, increase the duration of enemy. Reduce the speed. Yeah, she, for the most part, likes to deal the damage herself. She does have a little bit of debuffs and buffs, but she looks more like a damage dealer. So I think a damage increase would be the best thing she could get for the leader skill. Anna Rose, as always, controversial, very very difficult to get what she's gonna get to understand or predict what she's gonna get for the leader skill. Let's see. Increases speed by 10. She could get whatever, guys. Speed increase. Speed increase, defense reduction. She doesn't need a super armor. Damage increase. What else? Speed increase, speed reduction. Damage increase. Critical damage. Electrocute. What else? Yeah, those four effects I think would be pretty good on her. And I would especially like to see Electrocute with her, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. Maybe they, for her specifically, implement some kind of special new buff or debuff. Let's go with her theme. Maybe something about black magic? I don't know. Let's see. Nagi, Momochi Nagi. What can we expect from her? Poison? Okay, poison. That's a thing. Burn too. I think that she would give skill damage. I don't know why. I mean, she always likes to use one of her basic enhancers. They are pretty good. So I think they would give her skill damage to balance her a little bit. I don't know why. Or maybe defense reduction, increase damage taken, or a generic damage increase. Yeah. Similar to Rinko, if they were to implement something pretty unique for these two characters, maybe they would focus on the clones that she does, making an extra attack. I mean, a single hit attack, but even so, an extra attack. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, especially if it's melee, because that's another way to proc Witch 2. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting an extra attack when activating the leader skill. Let's see. Aina, another character that I don't play too much. Let's see. And even though it's pretty good. Increase damage, increase speed stun. Damage increase. Let's see. Enhances normal attacks. Continuous attack damage increase as the cooldown time increases. I think they would put something regarding her multi-hit. She hits fast, and some of her skills hit a ton of times. I think they would put something because as I see her, she looks pretty unique. Yeah, I don't think they would give her a conventional buff. Maybe a damage increase, but that's about it. Maybe she gets even more damage with this kind of skills that says damage increase as cooldown time increases. Or I don't think they would give her cooldown reduction. Yeah. I only think that attack speed or damage increase would be an option for her. I don't play her with her that much. So, what do you think would be a viable leader skill for Aina? I knew that it started with AI, but I didn't remember the other letters. I don't know why. Saika. I think she would disarm. She would get skill damage because she focuses a lot on skills. It would be nice if she gets super armor. I won't deny that. Or damage reduction. No, that damage increase on the enemy. That's kind of the effects that I think that are viable for her. Shisui, whatever they give Shisui is fine. If they give her even more defense with this, it will be fine. But I think they would give her a specific buff for her familiar, definitely. A damage increase on attacks for Guardian. Which, I mean, that's not her role. She can do that. She can perform damage, but she's more of a tank. So I would like to see an effect that actually gives her more survivability, which she doesn't need, but it would be nice. I don't know. Or what kind of effect she could provide for the team. Well, speed control. She already is good on speed control, similar to Emily with the red. So if she gets speed control, I wouldn't mind that. It would be nice. Let's see. For Eleanor, no doubt is gonna be wet. Wet is kind of her thing, and she already has means to inflict wet. But I think that the more stacks you put, the better. So if they give her wet on the leader skill, that would be excellent. Or they could give a buff that only activates and gives some kind of benefit when the enemy is wet. I wouldn't like that. I would prefer just to receive more means to inflict wet on the enemy. Um, Another character I don't play too much. Let's see, Hebiko. Yeah, Hebiko. I think she's good. I really like how she played the few times I used her. Because I need the resources to make weapons and such. That's why I don't play with certain characters. Because I don't have the weapons, firstly. And the crystals, on the other hand. So, let's see. Speed increase. I remember her being pretty... yeah, I had the butterfly weapon, that's why. So, if she's a butterfly weapon user, I would like to get more speed on her. Speed increase. Where's the other? Speed increase, green again. Speed increase, yeah. So, I think she already has good speed increase. So, if they give her a generic attack buff on, I don't know, on melee attacks, this is melee. Melee. But she's mixed. No, melee attacks, no, that would be restrictive. So if they gave her a generic attack buff, I think that would be pretty good. They could give her more speed, yeah, that I wouldn't mind. They could also focus on Devil Ink. I don't know what Devil Ink does, but it's a thing that she has here. Yeah, I think Devil Ink. They're gonna focus on Devil Ink. That's my prediction. Because there's only one skill that actually uses Devil Ink. I think maybe taunts the enemies. Oh, nice. There are not many skills that actually taunt the enemies, so I like that. Let's see. And Spinel, I mean, there's nothing to say about Spinel. She already has the leader skill. But there's things to say about Lapis. But we haven't checked, not even a glimpse of her combat style. So we don't know what to expect of her. If Spinel focuses on on attack, I think that Lapis is going to focus on defense, just to match each other, in my opinion. But what do you think about that, guys? Is Lapis going to be a defensive character? Or get some kind of damage reduction? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I don't think we need that much damage reduction. It's better to break the super armor. So yeah, that's kind of the predictions that I have for these leader skills for each character. I already mentioned that these heavily rely on the skills. I do hope that they give us variety of effects. Buffs, attacks, and debuffs are good concept for the leader skills, in my opinion. The attacks, particularly to proc effects for supporters like Witch-Su, or to shred super armor like Rinko. That's why I recommend to apply some kind of attack, even though they might not be like super strong. They have the purpose of being focused on utility. So you would say that no, an attack, what's important is the damage. No, an attack can also be used for utility. Or that's what I think, because that's why my experience with those characters, with which are they? With I forgot the names. With Rinko and Momochinagi. Yeah. So other than that, I think that's about it. So if you like the video, share, like, subscribe, blah blah blah. And tell me, what do you want to see for leader skills? I think they're going to apply. I almost forgot. I think they're going to apply these effects all together. I was going to recommend Gremory to implement them in batches. Maybe 5 characters receive the leader skill. But since they mentioned that their plan is to unlock certain things as we level up, I think once we reach level 87 with the character, we're going to unlock the skills. I don't know if new characters are going to have the skill unlock. I don't know if the renewal is going to unlock the skill. For example, Emily, if they want, they could unlock her skill, her leader skill with the renewal. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that, but we'll see. So, that's about it, and we'll see each other next time. Bye!